Hello everyone. Today we're going to cover a very important question. Is your bear still alive? Are they still there? It's still in there. Now, in this house, it's practically impossible to find a bear that isn't still in there because they get a fantastic quality of life, may I say. But I've tried to find a couple that I haven't interacted with particularly recently to see if we can, this is a bear who may be fading. So let's fading. Let's just talk about that. The anima in a bear doesn't go gradually back to the bear dimension, but what happens is the energy coming into that bear. So hello, talking to the bear. That energy is a source of fuel for them, and it will gradually dry up if there's nothing, 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 nothing. So when you look at the bear, it's a bit like when you're tired, you haven't eaten, and you start to droop and you haven't got any energy, and people can probably see it. So bears are like that too. They haven't had any food, any energy, then they'll start to look a little bit less sparkly and vibrant and a little bit more like, oh, you wouldn't do this, but are you still in there? Yeah. Are you still in there? So I'm going to show you how to look at your bear closely and see whether in fact there's still somebody in there. So we're going to take TC here. TC, not a very good example. No, I'm afraid not. No, he's TC because he's got this, he's the greatest travel consultant ever. Don't ask me, it's a long story. But anyway, so as you can see from the little face here, that's a little face that's inquisitive. He wants to know things, delighted to be on camera, and really interested in the world. Fail. Okay, only fail for today. You're really good. Fail for today's example now. This, on the other hand, is Chocs Away Charlie. Now, Chocs Away Charlie has not had any attention for a while, so I'm really hoping that we can get a little bit of that quieter bear energy. And let's not forget that there are different types of bears, and you might have a bear that is a quieter sort of bear. A bear who is a bit of a thinker, perhaps an intellectual bear like Professor Darwin. Or stone bear, a mysterious stone bear who gets lost in his own thoughts. Who knows? But let's look for a minute here at Chocs Away Charlie. If anyone's interested, he came from Duxford, which is the big plane museum. You can't tell, can you? You can't tell. No. Anyway, that's where I got him. But since then, this is quite some years ago, he doesn't regularly come out to play. So perhaps we'll have a little bear here whose anima is a bit diminished. Well, a little bit more. Come on, let's move him closer to the camera. What about that, Chocs Away Charlie? Yeah, I think so. I think you can see there that he is in there, but it's not very forthcoming. So, excellent example. And just to kind of give you a quick rundown of what you need to look for, you look in the eyes. Obviously, eyes is the first place. You look at the fur, and you look at the general energy of the bear. So here's a really good example. TC sitting there kind of, oh, mummy, this is wonderful. Yeah. Do you see that? That's obvious, isn't it? And Penelope, of course, up there, queen of the world. Clearly, you can see because she's got something to say already. This isn't your video, though, is it? Really? No. But she does have things to say. I will try and provide her with a forum to do that. Yeah. But so if we've got little Chocs Away Charlie, and he is a little bit sort of lower on fuel, lower on anima, because I don't get him out and interact with him very much. So if you're noticing that bear looks a bit lifeless, you're not really very inspired, can't think particularly that they've got anything to say, or that you don't feel like you want to make them talk, or they don't look interested, could be they're low on attention. And ask yourself, when did I last play with them, pick them up, talk to them, give them attention. It doesn't have to be play. But it could be just talking. Play is talking. In this household, I'm always talking to the bears. It's just what happens. So you could call that play, but you could also do, play where they do stuff, move them around, give them a job. Oh, bears love a job. So interacting with your bear can be play, can be talking, can be giving them something important to do. They absolutely love that because it gives them a purpose. It's like people. People need a purpose. So how about Chocs Away Charlie here? He always perked up. He's perked up a little bit. And I think he's perked up partly because, well, he's moving him around and, there's a camera pointed at him. That's attention. Actually, get him in front of a YouTube camera because potentially that could be lots of people's attention. And he might be soaking that up as we speak. Yes, he does look a bit more lively. But I'm thinking that I might do something different with him. I might try, obviously just in front of the camera, that's good. But we might try something like giving him a role because I feel like he also perked up at the thought of, give me a job. Who wants a job? So, what kind of job could you give your bear at home? But I feel like here's a great job. So, where I live, we're actually reasonably near to an airport, so we do see planes going over quite often. Planes. Oh, yes. So, how about his job can be spotting the planes, plane spotter. Now, of course, that means that, having said that, I will have to put him, I think this is a good room to do it. I'll put him by the window. Yeah, that's right. You go and have a look. Sit him by the window and he can count the planes coming and going to and from the airport. What about that? We get smaller craft as well. Helicopters, quite a few helicopters. So, can you see, has he perked up? Does he look more interested? I think he does. I think actually he's a little distracted actually. That's the window, there are the planes. He wants to go and do his job. So, I hope that's helped you and been a good example of how you get a bear who's perhaps a little bit more low fuel, hasn't really had a lot of attention recently, and you interact with them, give them a role, play with them, talk to them, sing to them, if you like, do a little dance. And actually, a little dance, I'm just going to give you an example from the Harrods bear that I talked about in an earlier video. When I picked this bear up, one of so many, I was looking for something in the eyes, couldn't see anything. And I saw a bit of something and I thought, oh, So I interacted and I said, come on, is there anybody in there? So I'll do that for the camera. Is there anybody in there? Yeah. So obviously I was in Harrods at the time, but you probably wouldn't want to do that in public, but I don't really care. So it's a bit different for me. But yeah, a little dance. Bears do love a little dance. They love movement really, moving them about. And if that movement means attention, so for example, this would be the way just to move them about and it doesn't really shake, get the anima back in. No, all right, don't do that. He's all right. That's the way not to get anima back into the bear because there is no intention behind it. There is no genuine intent to be interested and to interact. So ideally, gentle movement, a little bit of dancing if you feel like it. Otherwise, any kind of interaction is good, but giving them a role, that's gold. So this little bear, his attention, look at his fuel gauge has gone right up there. But what if I didn't get to him in time? A scary thought. And there will be bears, covered in cobwebs and dust in the corner of the room that perhaps you haven't thought about for a little bit too long. And that's when, if the attention dries up enough, a bear's anima, there's nothing to keep it here. So we'll go back to the bear dimension. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. Where does your bear go? What happens? Is it the end? Well, we'll talk about that in the next video.